strings. So the strings are actually a combination of a few things, the soft tissue in the body, okay? Your muscular skeletal tissue, not so much the organs, right? Now, what it is the connection between the fascia, the tendons, and the muscles. All three of these work together. And when they work together, then they form string. I use the term string because I learned this concept, when I was young, and it was part of our Shaolin training. Okay, part of my Shaolin training anyway. And the master would say, okay, use your string to connect from your toes to your hands, right? And you talk about alignment in the body, right? Lines. So literally, we use the word strings, okay, in Chinese. And it took me a long time to figure this out until I came across the work of Tom Myers, Anatomy Trains. You can look it out on Google. If you Google anatomy trains, you find certain explanation and videos there. And of course, if you go to the Anatomy Trains website, yes, diagrams and books and so on. And I've actually got the books and it's very useful. So what that did was, after finding out about the work of Tom Myers, it helped me to understand the strings much better, right? So it's sort of saying that, okay, I already have this knowledge or this skill, and then now it's been actually backed up by modern medical science, right? So in that sense, medical science have caught up with Shaolin, which is like 2,000 years old. But anyway, so the strings anatomically is that. So now, if you cut open the body, you won't find a single element, let's say like a tendon that connects your toes to your shoulders or even to your fingers. But it's the combination of the three different parts of your body working together. And what makes it work together is partly is natural because as you move, as you work, that's how the body's been designed anyway. There's this natural coordination for the different parts, the tendons, the muscles, and the fascia to work together. But because of maybe bad lifestyle and training, we've forgotten how to use it. With children, young children, they're very natural. They know how to use their body very well. But as we grow older, we, because of lifestyle, bad habits, work, and so on, we tend to so-called forget how to do things properly, right? So the strings have always been there, okay? So now with the training of the Yan Shou Gong is to re-emphasize that, to make us, ourselves, more aware of using the strings, okay? And by doing so, you sort of make your structure stronger, your posture is better, and you can move around with less energy, in just moving the body, because the fascia and the tendons, right, are elastic tissue. They don't tire. That's for a very good example. If you don't have the correct posture, right, the strings, the connective tissue cannot work properly, right? Let's say, I'm standing like this, right? That's very bad because my body is not aligned. And then what happens is the muscles have to take on the function of supporting my back and with my hunch over shoulders. So I will have the muscles have to do a lot of work here, the lower back, and muscles get tired, whereas fascia doesn't. But if I have the correct posture, then my whole body becomes aligned, and then the skeleton will work together with the soft tissue. So think of it as like a sailing ship's mast, Your skeletal structure is the mast, and the riggings, the cables, is what holds up the mast on the sailing ship. And it's the combination of the spine, means the mast, together with the riggings, that means the fascia, the ligaments, that make the whole structure strong yet flexible. Okay, so that's what we think of it as the human body is like that. I mean, in engineering terms, they call it a tensor structure, right? So that's why once you're aligned, then think of it, okay, now the guy lines, the riggings are taut, they're not slack. Whereas if you're like this, it's like having a crooked mast, right? And where the riggings are slack. But once you push the mast up and tie down the riggings, then the whole structure comes in.